Guys, this may ruffle a few feathers right now, but I don't care. If you own rental properties and things feel a lot tighter than they used to, there's a reason for that. So let's dive in and see what rental property owners are getting wrong and how you can avoid that real estate trap. Because there's a lot of stuff coming out from so-called real estate gurus right now that may actually be hurting your chances of creating passive income from rentals. And after 20 years in the biz, I thought I had this whole thing figured out. Rental properties equals cash flow, equals legacy wealth, passive income handled, right? At least that's what I thought. Until the day I had to sell one of my properties just to stay afloat. And then I sold another. And then I sold another. And that's when it hit me. This might not be working the way I'd planned. I'd been investing in real estate for 20 years. I did what all the gurus said to do. I bought the properties. I held them long term. I let the cash flow pay off the debt and build the future. And believe me, I had great properties. And for a while, it looked like it was working. On paper, everything looked safe. But what me and more than a few folks I know in the real estate circles didn't realize was this. Real estate only looks safe until it isn't. And for me, things really started shifting around 2015. Now, there's probably a lot of different reasons for this back then, but what was happening was this. Rents were flat, but the cost of everything else kept going through the roof. Property taxes went up, insurance went up, utilities went way up, and all those good properties started getting kind of tight on cash flow. Then they went negative on cash flow. And when that happens, you can't just wait it out. You have to feed it from other properties, from your own pocket, from your line of credit. And I kept telling myself, next month will be better. But it wasn't, nor was the month after that, or the month after that sometimes. Let me give you a real example here. I had a boiler that needed replacement in one of my buildings. $45,000 for the repair. And just like that, that one repair wiped out 6 months of cash flow. 6 months. But the bills didn't stop. The mortgages still had to be paid. Expenses and rentals kept coming. So where did the money come from? Yeah, you guessed it. My line of credit. Then I got a tenant move out. Good tenant, but they'd been there a while and it was still $4,000 to $6,000 in renovations. And just like that, all the cash flow from that property was gone for a year. And then a roof needs repairs, or two, or, honestly, 3 in one summer. And before you know it, you're not investing anymore. You're surviving. Heck, I even had a tenant burn down one of my houses. Try sleeping after that one. And yet I kept thinking the same thing. One more property is going to fix this. And that becomes the trap. Because one more property doesn't fix the problem. It multiplies it. More expenses, more risk, more things that are out of your control. And back then, I didn't want to see it because honestly, I had 20 years into this game. This was the plan. Then came August of 2022. And I was sitting down and I was going through my numbers and I saw it clearly for the first time. I just sold another property to pay off my line of credit, and I started to see the pattern very clearly. I was ditching a property a year just to keep the bills paid. And if I kept going like this, I was going to sell everything off and I was going to end up 80 years old and flat broke with nothing to show for all my years as a real estate investor. Now that hit hard because it wasn't just about the money anymore. It was about the time. Because you see, I still had dreams. I wanted to travel. I wanted to fly. I wanted to have adventures with my wife. I wanted to actually live my life. And I couldn't see how this was going to happen if I stayed on this real estate path that I was on. And that's when I had to make a decision. I either kept going and hoped things magically improved, or I admitted something that I didn't want to admit. And that's that I was wrong. I was wrong about rental income. It wasn't predictable. It certainly wasn't stable, and it sure to heck wasn't passive. And here's the shift that changed everything for me. It's not assets that pay your bills. It's income. Reliable, predictable, controlled income. And with real estate, I didn't have it. Because sure, I had properties, but I had no control over how much the property taxes went up. I had equity in those properties, but the only way I could access it was by getting more debt. And that put me under the banker's thumb. Heck, even insurance options were getting slim for for somebody who owned as much real estate as I did. And they sure let me know it every time it came to pay my premiums. Boy, let me tell you. So in short, I had no control over most of what happened with my rentals. But by God, I was sure responsible to pay for them. And that's a dangerous place to be, especially when you get this close to retirement. Now listen, I'm not going to say that real estate never works, and I still do own rental properties. But what I am saying is this: it doesn't work anymore the way it used to. There's too many costs, there's too many variables, there's too many rules, there's too many things outside your control. And that's not where you want to be when you start getting closer to your twilight years. And if you're a rental property owner, and if you're feeling that right now, believe me, you're not crazy. You're just starting to see it clearly. Now, when I realized all this, I knew I had to find another way, but I didn't know where to look. And I'll be honest, I made some big mistakes. I spent a lot of money on things that didn't work, got super frustrated, and I felt like I was starting all over again. But I also realized something else that was very important. There are simpler ways to create income today, ways that don't require tenants, toilets, 3 a.m. phone calls, and more importantly, ways that don't keep draining you financially or leaving you on a cliff edge every night worrying about whether you're going to get money or have to pay money for your rentals this month. So over the next bit, I'm going to be doing a deeper dive into real estate investing, what it's really like from a 20-year veteran's perspective and how it's changing. So if you're a real estate investor or if you own rental properties, I'm curious, what are you seeing with your portfolios and the struggles you're having right now? Drop your thoughts or any questions you have down in the comments. I read and reply to everyone, even the nasty ones. So until next time, hey, I'm Harry. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.